Hello everyone, and welcome back to the last chapter in Hibiki's Root, chapter 9 and 9 RIP. Yay, we're almost done. We get to figure out what's going on. Sorry, the text says it's already been read. It's because I was trying to get to the chapter 9 page and I realized that I hadn't gone back in order to get there to start the episode. So this has already been read. I didn't actually read it. It just took me a long time to realize I needed to go backwards to get to it. I'm glad we finally get to finish Hibiki's route and figure out how it's all going to end for them. And then the endings video will be included in a different one. So we're going to stop this episode after the credits, and anything after the credits is going to be included in the ending. Even if there is a choice at the end, which I don't think I saw one on Hibiki's. It's really weird that Kuroha had one. I'm starting this one really late, so I don't know when it'll actually get edited and put out. I'm starting it at midnight, and I don't know how long it's going to last. I'm supposed to be doing a Cupid Parasite right now because it's been a while since I released one of those, but it was the last chapter. I just had to do the last chapter. Up we go. What's she doing? After Hibiki lost consciousness, I dragged him to a nearby classroom. What do I do if I run into a wraith now? I knew it would be safer to call Kuroha, but if I did so, I'd have to explain to him why Hibiki passed out, and that would be way too embarrassing. Maybe I should try to wake him. Hibiki, are you alright? He's not waking up. Seems like all I can do is wait. I gazed at him, gently reaching out to his cheek. I was filled with the desire to touch him. As my fingertip brushed against his cheek, I felt his unique warmth in that moment.
こんなことになったのは全部あいつのせいだ。Tsukigami Isao。許さない。僕の幸せを奪った。あの男。
I quickly let go of his hand, and the sound of the images that had flooded to me ceased. Why is he still seeing that? Though I didn't have a headache, the rushing thoughts left me feeling lightheaded. Hibiki.
ここは教室?
That's right, you collapsed, so I brought you to this nearby classroom.
そうなんですね。恥ずかしいです。
Well, next time don't collapse from pure happiness. After regaining consciousness, he looked around and pulled himself up. How are you feeling? Are you hurt?
多分心臓は動いてないですけど、ずっとドキドキしてる感じがして、感情が爆発しちゃっただけです。きっと。
Despite having just woken up, his eyes stared at me aflame with passion. His gaze made my heart race, making me forget what I had just seen.
触ってもいいですか？あなたに僕の思念が流れないよう強く意識するから。だから。
Oh. Perhaps he had been holding his thoughts back when we touched in the hallway before. That's why I didn't see anything then. I held up my hand and Hibiki gently took it, smiling brightly back at me.
どうですか?
Nothing, no visions. I guess that's thanks to you, Hibiki.
心残りにあった闇が薄らいでいるのはあなたのおかげですよ。あなたが僕を照らしてくれた。温かくて優しい幸せな光。僕はそれを守りたくなったんです。あなたのぬくもりがいつまでも失われないように。
Looking a little embarrassed, Hibiki blushed and looked at the ground.
だから本当の心残りは話せなかった。ごめんなさい。
Wanting to protect something, does that mean you were thinking about me?
はい。無事に写し終え帰ってほしい。そのためなら、あなたに嫌われることでも躊躇なくやろうと思いました。キスをした時のことがまさにそれで。
So you were trying to chase me out of the mirror world.
はい。でも、ダメだったんです。これで良かったんだっていくら思っても、あなたを追い出した後、心にぽっかり穴が開いたようで。幽霊なのに、おかしいんです。寒くてたまらなくて。だから、あなたとの思い出で心を温めながら、鏡の前で待っていたんです。
Waiting by the mirror for me? I hadn't expected him to say that. No matter how many times I called out to him from in front of the mirror, he didn't respond.
もちろんです。情けないことに、あなたを思うのはやめられなくて。鏡の外が写し世に戻った後も、あなたはこの学校へ通う。それならずっと鏡の前にいようと、座り込んでいたんです。もしかしたら僕を思い出して、鏡に笑いかけてくれるかもしれない。そんな期待をして。でも、いつまで経っても外は赤いままで、おかしいなって思っていたら、あなたが抗議してきて。
I couldn't see him, but he was in the mirror. He was right in front of me the whole time.
すごく胸が痛かったんですが、ここで出て行ったら、今までの努力が水の泡だから。まさか、またこうして会えるとは思いませんでした。それも、あなたと触れ合えるなんて。
Hibiki, looking a little nervous, extended his other hand. He touched my cheek with it.
温かい。
His expression was not like the one before, a ghost captivated with the warmth of the living. He was simply staring at the person he loved. He's looking so longingly at me. I felt my heart beat faster and faster. Hibiki. Our hands and fingers further intertwined with one another. Thank you for caring about me. He put a lid on his own feelings for me to push me away and keep me safe. He wanted me to go back to my world and live a happy life.
あなただって僕のことを考えてキスをしてくれたんでしょ。
That's right. I'm no different than you. It just took me longer to realize how important you are to me. We were very similar indeed, especially our desire to sacrifice ourselves for the sake of the people we love. Perhaps we're some kind of kindred spirits. After all, we both neglect our own desires to protect the people we care about.
僕の場合は守りたいもの全部じゃありませんよ。他でもないあなただから。
But it was the same with your mom too, right? That's why you were always putting on a fake smile for her, right?
確かにそうだった。
When I heard you tell that story, it really reminded me of myself. I've done things to try to keep my mom happy too.
もしかしてそれは進路のことですか？
As if to give him a silent affirmation, I gently squeezed his hand.
前に言っていましたよね。進路のことでとても悩んでいたって。
When I was very little, my mother already decided my path for me. I always just accepted that, but when I started to wonder if it really was the right path for me, my mother would just put up a giant wall between us.
あなたのお母さんは どうしてその道を進むべきだと思っているんですか？
Because I think she wanted me to be like my father.
そんなに立派な方だったんですね。
Yes, he was. He passed away when I was very young, so I didn't really get to know him.
それなら聞いてみたらいいんじゃないですか？お父さんのこと。
Well,
お父さんのような人間になることを望まれているなら、同じ進路を選ぶより前にまず知らないといけないかなって。それにお母さんがどんな思いを抱えているのか知りたくないですか？
come to think of it, she would only ever tell me that my father was a wonderful doctor. I had heard about his accomplishments in the medical field countless times, but I hardly knew anything about his personality or character. Maybe I should just ask her about how she felt about my father. Hibiki's words sunk deep into my heart. They seemed to take all the dark feelings I'd been suppressing towards my mother and dissolve them away. Hibiki, you're really amazing. I never even thought about that before.
少しでもお役に立てるのなら嬉しいです。まあ、自分のこととなるとなかなかうまくいかないんですけどね。
You mean about crossing over? Hibiki's expression turned slightly bitter and he removed his finger from my cheek.
未だにある心残りをどうしたらいいのか、自分でもわからないんです。闇は確実に薄らいでいるんですけど、それでも未練は残ったままだから。
By resentment, you mean towards Isao Tsukigami. After gathering up my courage to ask, Hibiki looked towards the ground.
成仏した先に両親が待ってくれている。そんな気がして、すぐにでも会いに行きたい気持ちはあります。でも、あいつにされたことをどうしても許せないんです。
What can I say to him if he doesn't even want to think about forgiving him? Hibiki, what do you want to do to Isao Tsukigami?
どうしたいかなんて
Oh my goodness, here we go.
前から決まっています。同じ苦痛を味わわせる。それだけです。
You're gonna make him tell you all his dark thoughts.
誰の助けも来ないあの鏡に閉じ込めて、ある日は何箇所も刺してやって、ある日は足を切り落としてまあ幽霊だから傷はつかないんですけど、苦痛を与えることはできますから。
Silence.
毎日そうして苦痛を与え続ければ悪霊化すると思うんですよ。知っていますか？悪霊はただただ飢えに苦しむって。飢えに苦しみ、孤独に苦しみ、さまよいながら憂さを晴らす。誰かを襲うことでね。
Oh my goodness. I can't help but cringe. I felt this conversation was turning dark, I know, right? You say attack, but in the mirror world, there wouldn't be anyone for them to attack, right?
そこなんですよ。
Oh my goodness. His smile grew wider and wider.
どうなっちゃうんですかね。飢えに耐えられず魂が枯れて消えちゃうのかな。
I could feel his hand on mine begin to grow frigid. My head hurt so much, but I couldn't let go. I wouldn't let go. If I do, if Hibiki knew that he was harming me again, he might try to send me home. He would have said that he's dangerous. He would have told me I shouldn't be around him anymore. There's still a part of him that's drawn to the darkness. He said before that the darkness in him was getting weaker, but if given the chance, it still comes back. He was emotionally unstable. Those words came into my mind. What is this? This is what Seiya was worried about. But I couldn't give up. If I really am his light, then... I tightly squeezed his hand. He brought him back to reality. I would have to warm his heart.
Misa さん。
Warm?
はい。とても。
The expression on Hibiki's face changed and the chill from his hands gradually subsided. The chill I felt in his hands before was something very different from his normal cold.
もしかしなくても、僕また暴走しちゃいました。
Just a bit. I was about to say something. I was about to say more than just a bit. It would have been funny. She's like, yeah.
すみません。成仏しないと、あなたを返してあげられないのに、どうしたらいいのか、わからない。これが、正直な気持ちです。
Those are my feelings too. How could I help him cross over? After everything he experienced and spending decades consumed by hate for what Tsukigami did to him, there was no way I alone could fix things. Yet as these feelings of weakness rose within me, the darkness in him will return and he'll be at risk of becoming a wraith too. For the time being, I need to talk to Hibiki. If only there was a way to let go of your hatred for Tsukigami. But I know that's not something you can just do either. Without answering, Hibiki just let his gaze wander around the room.
とりあえず、鏡の中の世界に戻りませんか?
Yeah, you're right. If we stay here, there's a risk a wraith could attack me again. Upon opening the classroom door, I found someone unexpected. Yui.
ごめんなさい。クレハさんから響さんがこちらの世界に来たと聞いて、少し前から盗み聞きしていました。
Did she hear what he wanted to do to him? That's really bad. Oh my goodness. Aw. Seeing Hibiki's surprise, she looked directly at him and knelt down quietly.
私が父の代わりになりましょう。恨みを私にぶつけてください。
No, you can't do that, Yui. If you do...
口を出さないでちょうだい。これは私のすべきことなのだから。
But no, this is all wrong. Besides, there's no way that Hibiki would go along with that. At least that's what I wanted to believe, but when I turned to look at him...
あなたを代わりに？
はい。父があのようなことをしたのは、すべて私のせいなのですから。私は自分の意志で行方をくらましたのです。
He's not going to reject her. Seeing Hibiki's face struggle with the choice in front of him, I quickly took his hand. I'm sorry, Yui. We'll have to discuss this another time.
わかりました。
This feels dangerous. Poor Yui. I feel so bad if she's going to be subjected to that. I pulled him along as we left. After that, Hibiki gave me permission, and the two of us entered the mirror world together. Phew, that was close. I should probably keep the two of them separated for now. Hibiki, you can't take Yui up on her offer. Seeing Hibiki still in a daze, I called out to him with a firm tone. Making a child pay for the sins of their parent, that's wrong, okay?
わかっています。わかっているのに。
Finally, Hibiki turned his eyes to look at me. His face was contorted in pain.
あの子は何も悪くないって。わかっています。でも、あの子が代わりになれば、僕の気も晴れて、そうしたら、 成仏できて、あなたも帰れる。
I don't know, taking out your anger on the daughter to make yourself feel better, that just doesn't feel right to me either. Like, if I was as angry as him, I don't think I would feel better taking it out on his daughter. For me, my head, which had been flustered until now, quickly calmed down. It was clear his love for me was immeasurable. I thought I knew that already, but I also think the way he loves me is wrong. It wasn't just that he was putting me first, it was the only thing he was thinking about, which wasn't right either. I'm happy to know you're thinking about me, but you must not hurt her, okay? It's not right to hurt someone innocent to try to protect the person you love. It would be no different than Tsukigami. I immediately held my tongue. Oh my goodness. I didn't say his full name, but he cast his gaze downward. I couldn't see his expression. However, I felt something dark coming from him.
僕があの男と一緒。
He said if. No, I didn't mean.
ならどうしろって言うんだ。
Really? One line and you're going to snap? Oh my goodness. Then he reached his hand towards me. He gripped me so tightly that I couldn't breathe. You're going to forget everything that you told her about how much you loved her for that one line.
成仏したい。あなたを返してあげたい。俺にはどうしてもこの胸にある恨みを晴らさないといけない。他にどんな方法がある？月神功が出てくるまであと何百年とあるのに。
His eyes were filled with rage, and yet I could see tears welling up in them. It's all right. The darkness hasn't taken him yet. He... Perhaps seeing the pain in my face, Hibiki quickly let go of me. No, you're hurting her. What is wrong with you? I began coughing once I was able to breathe again. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. I shouldn't have said...
ごめんなさい。僕、あなたになんてことを。
Just calm down, Hibiki. It's all right. I'm all right.
ミサさん、どうしよう。自分が怖い。誰も傷つけたくないのに、あなたを返す方法が見当たらなくて。前はもっと単純で、月神功だけを待っていればよかったのに。今はそうも言っていられないし、どうしたらいいのか。もうわからない。
I couldn't help but wrap my arms around him. What could I possibly say to him after that? I'm sorry. I was so confused about what to do. And all I did was blame him for being tempted by Yui's offer. I really am so foolish. Hibiki, I'm really sorry. Hibiki trembled in my arms and I held him tightly close to me. Until he stopped crying, I resolved to hold him close. I brought Hibiki, who had calmed down a bit, to sit on the bed. I'm going to talk to Yui. It wasn't right to just leave her like that. Then just as I was about to leave his side, he grabbed me by the sleeve of my uniform.
お願いです。今はどこにも行かないでください。あなたが離れちゃったら、僕、考えすぎて 頭がおかしくなりそうで。
I silently sat down next to Hibiki. I took his hand and squeezed it. He doesn't need to think about anything. Maybe it's just best to let him stay in a daze. In that case, Hibiki, I'm feeling a little tired. Do you mind if I take a rest here?
Eh?
Not waiting for his reply, I laid down. It's a little embarrassing, but you're gonna lay on his lap. If I do this, neither of us will have to think about anything right now. Then I pulled Hibiki's hand too.
ミサさん、これは。
You're gonna lay down next to him. It's so cute. It makes things feel a little better just to lay like this, right? His cheeks flushed red. I'm sure I'm blushing too.
そういえば、久しぶりに布団に横になりました。幽霊は疲れないし、睡眠を取らないから。
Sleeping next to someone puts your heart at ease. At least that's what my mom told me when I was little, so I wanted to sleep next to you like this, Hibiki.
嬉しいです。心安らぐ相手に僕を選んでくれるなんて。
Who else would I choose? I told you before, I love you, Hibiki.
そうですよね。
Hibiki's face turned even redder, causing a smile to spread across my face. Seeing him embarrassed like this made him look even cuter, and my love for him overflowed from deep inside me.
僕だってあなたのことが好きですから。
I know you do. Hibiki's gaze, his words, they all made my chest tighten. And yet, it all feels so comfortable. I don't want to think about anything right now. I just want to stay like this. Is that alright? Hibiki nodded in response.
ありがとうございます。さっき僕はあんな風にあなたを責めたのに。変わらず優しくしてくれて本当に嬉しいです。
I won't change. No matter what happens, Hibiki, I whispered to him that I love him no matter what. So don't worry and trust me.
すごく嬉しい。そんなに嬉しいことを言われたのは久しぶり。いえ、初めてかもしれません。もう心臓は動いていないのに、すごくドキドキするんです。まるで生きているみたいに。あなたといると、自分が幽霊だって忘れちゃう。それくらいあなたに心が揺れる。
I smiled gently at Hibiki's words, but gradually found myself growing sleepy. Whether it was because I was laying down or because I felt so safe next to him. I always get sleepy when I lay down in a bed. Actually, when I lay down in general. If I go to the couch and lay down, I'm asleep instantly. Maybe like 5 minutes, but still. I think it's the same for both of us.
ミサさん、あなたは眠っていいですから。ゆっくり休んでください。
As I was wrapped in his soothing voice, I drifted off to sleep. When I awoke, I was all alone. Hibiki? Oh no. Okay, never mind. I was like, did he go confront Yui on his own? When I called out to him, I heard footsteps, and soon his face peeped through the door.
大看守様が来ていて。
Oh, is that right? I quickly got him and fixed my hair and uniform before saying hello.
大丈夫なようですね。
Yes, no major changes to report. Seiya's expression went from relieved to cheerful. Seems as though he really does care about me. I think it's because I've been trying to get to sleep before the drowsiness and headache set in.
今後もそうしてください。ああ、そういえば響から全て聞きましたよ。彼の内情は全て知るところになったと。
Looks like you were right, Seiya. I straightened my posture and approached Seiya. Do you have any ideas? I worry if Hibiki stays like this.
響が抱えている心残りを解消できるかどうかは本人次第。私は鏡の世界を作るのみにとどめ、あくまで彼の行く末を見守るのみ。そう思っていたのですが。
Does that mean things have changed?
響とあなたの関係。おしなべて言えば、愛の力に感化され思うところがあったのです。
Oh my goodness. Is he going to be a romantic? Because I'm looking forward to that.
愛の力、そんなめそうもない。
Hibiki, just hang on a minute. So in other words, Seiya, are you offering to help us?
あなたがいると話が早いですね。私もそう暇ではありませんから簡潔にお伝えしましょう。響、月上勲に面会してみてはいかがですか？
Oh, you're going to take him into hell. Well, that would definitely help, right?
本来、成仏は個人の問題ですから、今まで口は出さず見守ることに徹していたのですが、私とて彼女には無事に写し世へ帰ってほしい気持ちもあり、口を出させていただきました。
Thank you, but can Hibiki really meet him so easily?
そんなはずはありません。この特例は大監守の特権を利用してさまざまな事項をねじ曲げて無理に無理を通したものです。
No pun intended. I see. Hibiki, meeting Isao Tsukigami. Maybe he's going to bring him here. I honestly had no idea if it would be something good or bad for him. What does Hibiki think about it? When I looked over at Hibiki, he stood silently, mouth agape with shock. It's just not possible. This is also sudden. I think it's a save. Hold on. No, it's not. We're gonna ask Seiya a question first. Is it really okay for you to be doing that, Seiya?
曲がりなりにも大監守という立場ですからね。
I know, right? He's really in high ranking.
地獄の中でも多少の融通は利くのです。まあ今回は多少では済まされないかもしれませんが。
I quickly shot a glance over at Hibiki, who still seemed to be in shock.
私としても今すぐに響が決断できるとは思っていませんから、時間を置いて再びお伺いします。
I don't understand why he's having a difficult time making up his mind, because that's exactly what he wants, right? He wants to send her home, and Tsukigami is the way to send her home, so I don't know why he's hesitating.
ああ、念のための補足ですが、面会は我々の厳重な管理下で行われます。彼をどうこうできるとは思わないように。
How's that supposed to help? Once Seiya finished speaking, he began to shimmer and faded out of the nurse's office. Okay, let's go back up. Alright, the affection is smile at Hibiki. Hibiki. I called his name and flashed him a smile to get him to look my way. You don't have to answer right away, you know that, right?
そうですよね。すみません。びっくりして。ありがとうございます。
私としても 今すぐに響が決断できるとは思う。ああ、
Skip to the okay. Okay, yeah, that's the end. Hibiki.
すみません。一人でしばらく考えさせてください。
With that, Hibiki sped out of the nurse's office. I want to follow after him, but Hibiki said he wanted to think alone, and I wanted to respect his wishes. I wonder what he's going to decide. Who knows, especially if you can't do anything to him, he really wants to make him suffer. Alone with my suffering, I wandered the halls of the mirror world.
僕があいつと会って話す。ありえない。そんなのありえない。
I wanted revenge on Tsukigami. That alone had kept me in this world.
そうだ。そうだよ。何を迷っているんだ。僕は。
Hibiki. The thought of killing Tsukigami was what kept me going, but now I have to think about helping Misa get home. If I wanted to help her get home, should I meet Tsukigami? But if I met him, there's no way to know for sure if it would erase my regrets. I mean, you don't have anything to lose by this, right? Conversely, it could have made them worse. It might have made my regrets even stronger. I think so.
心を強く持てば。
I had changed so much since I met her. I could leave the mirror world, I could talk to other ghosts, she made me so much stronger. So now, the most important thing to me was, the most precious person to me was...
ミサさん、あなたのためなら強くあれる気がします。
When I was alive, no matter how bad things got, I always tried to be strong. But now that I was dead, I felt that for the first time, I was strong. Aw, that was cute. Go, get him. Protect her. Erase your regrets in her home. That's how he felt too. Unable to sit in the nurse's office, I decided to head to the library. It wasn't like I could read the books here, but I wonder what Hibiki is doing now. Taking the book he recommended to me, I began flipping through the pages. It's been exactly mirrored. I don't think this will be very easy to read. Since I had nothing to do while I waited for him, I wanted to read more of the book Hibiki liked. I want to know everything about him. I can't help but want to learn more. I wanted to know what he was thinking right now. But when I pushed too far before, I ended up hurting him. I said he was like Tsukigami. Considering what that man had done to Hibiki, that was truly a terrible thing to say. You said if he did this, then he would just be like him. You're creating a metaphor. You didn't say he was him. With everything he'd been through, I'm not qualified to judge him. And if I were to get emotional and hurt him with my words...
ここにいたんですね。
Hibiki. When he suddenly appeared, he had an unexpected calm look on his face.
何をしているんですか？
I tried to read. I thought I'd try reading the book he recommended to me. The puzzled look on his face disappeared and he smiled at my words.
でも鏡文字だとかなり読みづらいんじゃ。
He was bored, okay? Yeah, I can't get all the nuances exactly, but I can understand the general feeling of the text. I'm interested in the story, but I also wanted to learn more about what you liked, Hibiki.
とっても嬉しいですけど、
You did not say that with a
細
smile.
かいところまでしっかり読んでほしいので、それは帰ってからにしてください。
Gently, Hibiki took the book from my hand and placed it back on the shelf. When I go back, wanting to know what he meant by that, I continued to stare at his profile.
この本、早く読んでほしいです。そのためには、あなたを返さないと。
He continued speaking without hesitation.
だから僕、月神勲に会ってこようと思います。 これで心が晴れるのか、正直わかりません。でも、考えたんです。これまでのことを思い返しながら、会って、どうなるかはわかりません。でも、刃を突き立てるのではなく、会話をしてみようかなって、勇気を出してみます。あなたに出会って、たくましくなれた気がするから。だから、きっと大丈夫です。
Thank you. I don't know why, but I ended up thanking him. Thank you, Hibiki, for deciding to meet and talk with him. Thank you. My vision blurred slightly and I realized that tears were filling up in my eyes. I don't know what else I could say to express this feeling to him.
僕のために泣いてくれるなんて、何度体験しても感無量です。
I nodded and took his hand. I couldn't find any words to say to him, and I worried that if I spoke, I'd just end up crying. I know how you can express your feeling. To prepare for what was to come, I went back to the nurse's office to rest again. Seiya appeared.
覚悟を決めたのですね。
はい。どうなるかはわかりませんが。
どうなるかわからないものに挑むという覚悟こそ、私があなたに求めていたものです。
Upon hearing Hibiki's intentions, Seiya flashed a faint smile. Then,
それでは、早速地獄へ向かいましょう。
oh, they are going into hell. Seiya placed something that looked like a smartphone into his hands and began typing, pointing into the empty space. Whoa. Suddenly, all the hair on my body stood straight up. Huh? The room is changing. The air in the room grew faint and my heart beat faster. Hibiki seemed to feel the same thing and his body began to tremble.
この空間と地獄を一時的につなげています。響き、少々のことは我慢なさい。
I'm patching this through. Please wait a moment.
ああ、あなたは違う場所にいても構いませんよ。
Why would you wait somewhere else? Would it be okay if I went along too? Knowing how filled with anxiety Hibiki must have been, I wanted to stay with him if at all possible.
本来ならば遠慮していただきたいところではあります。地獄はこの曖昧な空間よりも空気が悪く、心身ともに悪影響ですから。
But she's the object of his affection.
まあでも、あなたは響きの安定剤でもありますし、30分ほどで戻れば大丈夫でしょう。
There you go. Phew, thank you so much.
でも、あなたはお留守番の方が、来てもらえたら嬉しいですけど、やっぱりあなたの体が心配だし。
It's been decided. Trust me, it'll be a lot harder on me if I'm not there with you.
ずるい。そんなこと言われたら、置いていけないじゃないですか。
So then let's go together. But aside from the oppressive nature of the air, there aren't like demons or anything to worry about, right?
いますよ。地獄には気味悪い生物から悪魔まで存在します。
I'm like, what did you expect? It doesn't translate it, but he said Akuma, which is demon. So I was like, yeah, there's gonna be demons. Oh.
しかし今回はそのようなならず者たちがはびこる場所には向かいませんのでご安心ください。
I see.
少しでも人外の者たちに会う可能性があるなら、それこそあなたを同行させませんよ。
Thinking about it, it was just as Seiya said. I never thought I'd see hell while I was still alive. Life really could be unpredictable. I know, right?
本来、うつしおから地獄へ来るには特別な電車を呼ぶ必要があるのですが、ここではそれがなせません。
A train? You take a ghost train or something?
というわけで、 緊急措置を取る際に使用するエレベーターを呼びます。
Taking the elevator. How does he get there? He just disappears, right? Suddenly, a crack showed up in the nurse's office and we found ourselves in total darkness. Goodbye.
この中に飛び込むのです。さあ、どうぞ。
This just got a lot more interesting. Warp? Is it safe?
ええ、さっと飛び込めばね。
This will last like a total of 10 minutes though. So it's more like a portal. Elevators don't warp to other floors, I know, right?
大丈夫です。僕がそばにいますから。ずっと手をつないでましょう。
Of course, let's hold hands. Also, but as soon as I said that, actually, if you play House on the Haunted Hill, elevators do warp to different floors. I really like that game. Right, thanks, Hibiki. His hand in mine, we gazed into the deep darkness. A warm unsettling breeze began to flow. I was surrounded by darkness. That looks really cool. This is not hell, this is a castle. Look at that. Stained glass and everything. Felt a cold breeze pass through me. This feeling. The air here was so much more oppressive than anything I experienced at the school. My entire body immediately felt strained. Just when I thought I was going to pass out, I felt Hibiki prop me up.
大丈夫ですか？
Thank you. The air here, it's so...
言ったでしょ。地獄の空気のよどみ具合は他の場所の比ではありませんよ。
It's so oppressive.
無理はしないでくださいね。
I'm fine. I just needed a little time to get used to it, that's all. With great difficulty, I stood up on my own and Seiya followed along after us. Looking around, I saw an area filled with tall ceilings decorated in a European style.
あまり時間がありませんので、この建物の説明は省きます。こちらです。ついてきてください。
We get a tour in Seiya's route. I want a tour. Whoa. Are these like names of all the people? We left the room and were ushered into a large hall. There I saw many people dressed like Seiya scurrying around the place looking very busy.
この人たちは全員ここで働いているんです。
Seeing me look all around the place, Hibiki called out to me. You're here to judge all the people that committed sins before they died?
そうです。まあ、大看守様もあの人たちも死者なんですけど。
I don't know what I was thinking, but like I expected them to just appear in a like volcano type plant. I don't know why I wasn't thinking, maybe he's inside a building. I'm sure this is probably just one of many buildings inside of Hell, right? That so? I can't imagine working even after death. I couldn't help but wonder what Seiya and the others who work here thought about their jobs. Hibiki's hand touched my shoulder. Seiya appeared to be talking to another staff member. Then, as though he had been prepped for this moment, a man was brought before us, shackles on his hands, feet, and neck. Hibiki, is that him?
僕も顔を見たことはないので、わからなくて。
I was gonna say, how would he know? That's right, Hibiki was kidnapped and locked up without ever seeing the man's face. Perhaps he would remember him by his voice. Yeah, there you go. As these thoughts passed through my mind, the man who was taken by the staff came towards us.
君が話したいという少年ですか?
As soon as the man began to speak, I saw Hibiki's whole body stiffen.
彼が月神勲です。
I could feel Hibiki's presence change in the face of this man wrapped in heavy chains. Isao Tsukigami. This diabolical maniac, large and strong enough to kidnap several people. I always imagined him as a terrifying man, and yet... The man slumped in front of me was a slender man with a simple kind of elegance about him. Well, he's probably had a long time to reflect on what he's done. Didn't look like the type of person who could be responsible for the death of children. Hibiki. Hibiki put his head in his own hands and began to sob.
申し訳ありませんでした。
Tsukigami fell to his knees. Well, to be more exact, his knees could not reach the ground. It was because of this massive amount of chains that bound him.
申し訳ありません。本当に申し訳ありません。
I had a feeling it would be something like this. He would forgive him instead of want to take out hatred and anger on him.
謝って到底許されるものではないと分かっておりますが、どうかこの老いぼれの謝罪を聞いてください。
There was something frightening about him, his words, his voice. If anything, he looked rather pathetic. Did it say was? There was nothing frightening. I think I said something. My bad. Hibiki closed his mouth. Without saying a word, he just stared at the man as he crawled on the ground.
後悔しています。尊い命を残虐な手段でいくつも奪ってしまったこと。娘のためとはいえ、気が触れていました。どう言い作ろうとも許されることではありません。私は死刑を望みました。しかし、地獄の方々は私の死刑を許しませんでした。
月神勲が受けるべき罰は、長きにわたり罪を背負い反省していくこと。そう結論付けたのです。
That should satisfy Hibiki, right? He wanted him to suffer for everything. He wanted him to suffer for a very long time. And not being granted what he wants, he will get exactly that, right?
ここを出た後、私がかつて殺めたこの幽霊に襲われるというのなら、どんな罰も受ける覚悟です。いえ、むしろそうしてください。こんな罪深き人間が安らかに成仏するなんてあってはいけないことですから。
Hibiki merely stood there with his mouth still closed in silence. No, that's not right. He can't just silently listen to this. Instead of showing how he really feels, he's just sitting there listening to this.
申し訳ございません。本当に申し訳ございません。
そろそろ時間です。響。何か言いたいことはありませんか？
Tsukigami crawled on the floor. It was as if to say he was ready to accept any punishment.
僕
Finally, Hibiki opened his mouth, but the voice sounded dry. Then he closed his mouth again. Hibiki. He was trying to say something, but it was clear the words would not come out. He was totally lost.
それではこれで。
Wait. Without a doubt, if we left now, Hibiki would regret that he didn't say anything. As if to protect Hibiki, I stepped forward. If I don't do this, I didn't understand everything, but I wanted to speak for him, if only a little. Tsukigami, Hibiki has experienced so many painful years since he died. He took his life because of what you did to him. As a result, he struggles with the darkness that's manifested in him. It's got so bad, there was even a moment where it seemed as though he was going to become a wraith. Tsukigami bowed so low that his nose nearly touched the floor, and yet I felt a bubbling rage well up inside me. I won't forgive you. Please don't talk about wanting to accept any punishment now, it's too late for that. Looking at him filled me with even more anger. I wanted him to know the sadness Hibiki felt at not being able to be happy. It wasn't something that happened directly to me, and yet I felt as though it was. Even if Hibiki were to forgive you, I won't. I'll never forgive you. No matter how many times you die here, how much pain you feel, it won't be enough. Tsukigami just continued to tremble without saying a word.
響に触れたのですね。憎しみが伝染した。
I know, right? All of his hatred and anger is flowing into you. I truly despised Tsukigami, and I knew Hibiki shared that feeling.
今度こそ時間です。
Seiya made a nod to his subordinates, who quickly took Tsukigami away. The man bowed his head deeply and was whisked away.
帰り方ですが、このまま待っているだけで勝手に元の場所へ戻ります。
At that, Seiya turned to look at Hibiki.
響、次に月神勲と話せるのは、あれが保釈された後になります。
いえ、
No. Hibiki stared down at the floor and shook his head back and forth.
いいです。僕がもう話すことはないから。
He looks incredibly happy right there. Hibiki raised his head and our eyes met. His eyes were shining brightly, filled with a joy that looked as though it would overflow.
彼女が全部言ってくれたんです。あの言葉を言ってくれて嬉しかった。
Hibiki. He took my hand and gently pulled me closer to him.
僕のためにありがとう。ものすごく驚きましたし、嬉しかった。だってあなたが僕の気持ちを全部分かってくれていたから。
Well, in that case, that's good. I was glad I had the courage to tell Isao Tsukigami how I felt. Tears were on Hibiki's cheeks, then on mine too. I knew that if I gave into these feelings even a little, I wouldn't be able to stop crying. My heart was so filled with emotions.
理解してくれて、寄り添ってくれて、立ち向かってくれて、本当に幸せです。
I honestly thought that he was going to be forgiven, because isn't like forgiveness like the salve of the soul or something like that? Nothing can ease your pain more than forgiveness, and they're not going to forgive him. He was crying so much he couldn't say anymore. You're such a crybaby, Hibiki.
あなただって泣きそうですよ。
Seiya gently put his hand on Hibiki's shoulder.
無事、成仏できそうですね。
それ、
With the mention of those words, Hibiki's face clouded over. Instantly, I could feel his emotions coming through his hands. He doesn't want to
リ
yet.
サさん、大好き。恋とか、愛とか、そういうんじゃない。彼女は、僕のすべて。
As his thoughts flowed into me, the space around us was distorted. Before I realized it, in an instant, we had returned to the school in the mirror world. Seiya, he's gone. Only the two of us returned here. Anyway, what was that voice? Why would you ask that? Like, you've seen it so many times. Hibiki let go of my hand and wiped away his tears. Then his expression quickly brightened.
彼岸花、染まったか見てみましょう。
Right. When I took the piece of paper out of my pocket, I saw that Hibiki's flower was... It's all colored in.
よかったです。これで帰れますね。
So he doesn't have to cross over? He could just gain the ability to, and then it's fine? In response to his unnaturally happy voice, I couldn't help but stay silent. The feeling I felt flowing from him earlier, this feeling was that of overflowing affection. I knew then just the extent of our feelings for one another. But it's not just that. He desires me with all his heart. He told me I'm his everything.
さあ、行きましょう。
Ah. Hibiki took me by the arm and began pulling me away. He grabbed me by my clothes. Where are you taking her? He can't cross over. No? I knew that. Hibiki.
どうやって元の空間に戻るんですかね
Why can't he cross over? Because he's got a new regret, her? Hibiki, stop.
とりあえずあなたは鏡の中から出た方がいいと思うんですよ。
Hibiki. At the sound of my shout, he stopped.
何ですか
He didn't turn around to face me as he spoke. Please listen to me. I freed my arm from his grasp and tried to take his hand.
僕に触れるな
Oh my goodness. So, your emotions are all over the place. With those words, he forcefully shook my hand off. If I do, I'll be able to see your feelings, and I'll see your new regret. I'll get to see what's still keeping you here, right? When we were touching before, I felt it. I felt how deeply you care about me. Hibiki dropped his hand with resignation and gave me a self-defeated smile.
僕って本当にダメだな。最後まであなたにそんな顔させて。
Tell me. I want to know how you really feel. If you don't tell me, I can't go home. Still silent, I saw his face shift to a look of determination. He took a step towards me. Then he touched my cheek.
そんなに知りたいなら知ればいい。
Aw, it's the instrumental music of the theme song again. I don't want you to leave.
でも僕のことなんて気にしないで帰ってほしいんです。
Please don't go home.
あなたの幸せは聖者として生きる残りの人生の中にあるって思うから。
I want you to stay by my side forever. Aw. He wants to say all these words and he's showing her that it's the complete opposite of what he's saying. Showing her his selfish thoughts. Hibiki's thoughts, I could feel them. The words he wanted to tell me and the words he felt were mixed together. I really thought he wanted to cross over. Him leaving this world, leaving me here alone, that was supposed to be my regret. You're lying. I want to know how you feel directly from you.
これならどうですか
His face drew close to mine and I closed my eyes. Yay, we got another one. I was anxiously awaiting one in Kurohazme gave us one at the very end, but we got two in his. I felt the contrast of his cold lips against the warmth of my smile, stealing the heat away. Yeah, I was like, I know one way you could tell her how you feel. His expression as cold as ice, he spoke, sorry.
鏡に閉じ込めてしまいたい。
Between kisses, I felt his emotions in his voice. Staying here does seem wonderful.
ずっとずっと二人だけの世界にいたい。
But if I stay, his love for me may drive him mad.
あなたのすべてが欲しい。
But if I leave, his despair might drive him mad.
僕のすべてをあげたい。
Our thoughts continue to intertwine and overflow. They crash together, unstoppable. I know, right? If you leave, you might go mad. If you stay, I don't think he would go mad. I really don't think so. When our lips parted, we merely shared each other's breaths. Then the silence returned, and finally he spoke.
僕のために死んでください。
Did he really just ask that? I was not expecting that. Oh my goodness.
あなたの人生 全部ください。
Staring back at me was the Hibiki I knew and loved. His words were harsh and crass, but I knew that was how he truly felt. So you were finally able to tell me how you feel, huh? I smiled naturally back at him. It was too late to worry. We'd both gone mad for each other already. Oh, really? He's not gonna cross over. Well, he might cross over, but she's not going back? Is she, though? Is there going to be any where she goes back? Hand in hand, the two of us headed to the front of the mirror.
考えたんですけど、大看守様が前に、あなたを鏡に閉じ込めるなって言っていたんです。つまり、その気になれば鏡の中に聖者を閉じ込められるってことですよね。それなら、出入りも可能なんじゃないかな。
In that case,
うつしおに帰ってからも、許可を出したままにしておけば、もしかしたらここに来られるかもしれません。
Okay, I'm wondering, this is what he really wanted. He asked her, he wants her to die for him and stay with him forever, but he's okay letting her go back. Okay, so he's not serious when he actually said die for me. He wanted to hear his true feelings. There was his true feelings. But it sounds like he's willing to accept whatever she decides.
大看守様が作った世界だけど、断りは僕だから。僕たちの思いの深さがあれば、きっと。絶対に大丈夫。
Is that really okay?
いいも何も、あなたに人生を謳歌してもらいたいっていう願いは本当なんですよ。ただ、離れ離れになるのが嫌だっただけ。
Hibiki's fingers lovingly caressed my cheek.
最初、僕は聖者のぬくもりに心がざわめいた。そして、あなたの心のぬくもりに惹かれた。たとえこの先、あなた以外の聖者に触れる機会があっても、僕は狂わない。あなただけに狂う。
His words, bordering on obsession, made my head spin. In a sense, the way he spoke made him sound crazy, but I guess I'm the same. After all, I couldn't see myself with anyone else.
毎日ここに来てください。死ぬまで。ずっと。そして、死んでからは、永遠にそばに。
He doesn't mince his words, does he? When you die, we'll be together forever. It's a promise, together forever. Hibiki, I love you.
僕だって、大好きです。ミサさん。
Even though we were about to part ways, we smiled at each other. Proof we trusted each other from the bottom of our hearts. There was no need to be anxious anymore. After all, we'd be together forever. Yeah, like 60, 70, 80 years from now. But whatever, it's fine.
壊れそうな儚い日々、君と二人確かめ合ったこの夜が明けるまでずっとそう隣 そっと穏やかな温度で今永遠に君となら二人なら探してた愛の名前を知らなかったこんなに別れが辛いなんて雨が止んだら外へ出かけようもう一度だけ君を教えてほしい
I really like how the ending theme songs or the ending credits is tailored to each individual person. I think, well, during all of that, all the CGs were like had blue flowers along the sides, blue butterflies, and all the like scene transitions was like blue. It's all blue, and Konoha was all red. I really like that. Also, I just thought of an interesting way to do new thumbnails now, but that would require me playing through the entire common route to get to the ending theme song because there's CGs in every single circle of the ending theme that was in the common route. Well, in the route in general. But then I'd have to read everything. Well, I guess I could restart the game or restart from a previous save so I don't have to read it in white outline text because that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is I kind of have to like hit the skip all button and select the right choices without getting too much of a spoiler, which could be a problem too. Maybe I'll just do something else on my second monitor or whatever, or my second computer, and ignore all the CGs that come up. And then when I'm playing the theme song, I could go find the CG in the theme song and put that as the CG. That might be really fun actually. And that would give me lots of room to put text without blocking the CG, but it gives you a glimpse of what the CG is because I was looking at the Kiss CG and it just shows their faces. So it doesn't really show that she's, slammed up against a wall or anything like that. It doesn't show you the whole thing. It gives you a teaser though. Could be interesting. I might do that going forward. We'll have to see how much trouble it is to do all that. Anyway, I actually like Hibiki's route. I didn't think I would like it as much, but he came through with his true feelings. He's like, you know what? All I really want you to do is just die and stay with me. But you go on and live your life, and I'll see you when you come back. So we're going to watch these endings in the next episode. So this is where we're going to leave off for today. I don't have very many closing thoughts for Hibiki. I don't know. He felt like a mediocre character to me. So he was very unstable, as Seiya said, in his emotions. He was very sad. And when he was happy, he expressed he was very happy. He said he had to make sure that people knew when he was happy. And then, I don't know, he lashes out at her for one line, and then he's crying the next moment. He's just all over the place with his emotions. I just couldn't stand it. He's giving me whiplash with his emotions. Anyway, I hope Senna is different. I have no idea who Senna is besides just an image. That's all I know. We don't know anything. So I am looking forward to going into the next common route, knowing absolutely nothing about 2 new characters. So it's going to be fun. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.